What's good, everybody? Back once again for an exciting night after that first game versus the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. And I don't know what more you can ask for, considering the fact that we were really about to ask for a lot as at a couple of points. Uh, I, this one we're talking about like a roller coaster of things and so much thoughts going through. I was like my head. I feel like the announcers on the game head. I was like, the coaches. I was reading threads from people talking to people. It was up and down. I was like, it it went from I was like it's so crazy to see because it went from smack talking, them Nuggets fans over here smack talking the Lakers, to then the Lakers fans over here smack talking them back, because they coming back, to the Nuggets fans over here trying to say like, oh, the refs giving y'all the game and letting y'all come back. And it was really it's crazy that a game that looked like it was about to either be a blowout or a standard, like not a standard, but it was kept on just being like 20 points, 20 points. Oh, they got it down to 8. Oh, now we're back almost to 20. Oh, they got it down to 11. Nope, it's back to 20. It just it kept doing that. I was like, look, like an accordion. Um, no, I was like, this was a really, really good up and down, crazy wild game. Uh, I felt that the Lakers found out more than the Nuggets did. Um, even because I was like, even though the Nuggets won, of course they didn't sustain their lead in such a way that would have you feeling optimistic about it. And the way the Lakers kept on battling back kept it made it more optimistic. The thing is that even though the Lakers got it down with it, and they like lost by like 6 or whatever, but they got it down. But the thing is that when you see how the Nuggets got ahead, and then after that, you just seem like then it just stopped. Then it was at that point it was just Lakers trading buckets back and forth with Denver. And when you have a deficit as much as they have, where it was like 10 to 20, because that's how it was for nearly like 3.5 quarters. You can't really trade back buckets like that. But it was the way they were trading buckets. It wasn't like because it wasn't just like sometimes there was where the Nuggets were getting wide open threes, and their transitional baskets are what really blew this game open in the beginning. And to me, those are two things that's easy to clean up. Like 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 for instance, Jokic game that he had tonight. I don't think you are going to you can slow Jokic down, but you're not going to stop Jokic. So that is something that you sort of just going to have to take with you of like, okay, we can make it difficult on them. What they sort of did in the second half by putting Rui on them and then letting AD coming over to help him out, because I was like, you're not really scared. You're only scared of Aaron Gordon for lobs. Let's be honest. And to me, sometimes I was like, I felt like LeBron, like they was trying so hard to get back that I feel like he didn't have the energy in some spots, which I'll get to that part a little bit later. Um, but you're just really just trying to tire out Jokic more than stopping him. But the thing is that they was getting so many buckets on so much transitional stuff, and to me, I'm like, you could sure that up by just having more effort or just running. You just want like there was like I was like Bruce Brown. I was like had an easy layup because nobody didn't stop the ball. And I'm like I get it how we think about the 3-point shot, but I was like he's going to go to the basket. Just stop him and make one of them other dudes shoot. And after that, it slowed the momentum down because the Lakers kept on getting all their shots on the inside, but they didn't really start hitting any threes until really that fourth quarter, and that was really just Reeves. So whereas the Nuggets, KCP was hitting three, Porter was hitting three, Murray was hitting threes. So and it almost made me think of Golden State, where it's like, cool, y'all are hitting those threes and y'all are hitting them threes, but we are keeping the game close with our two baskets. So wait until we actually start hitting threes. and that sort of seemed like what it was for a while. But the thing is like, okay, I guess I'll go. The Nuggets felt like it was a lot more of that they're going to have to. That it's going to be hard to figure out because a lot of their a lot of their shots were transitional basket that could be stopped. They was getting ridiculous 3-point shots. Like yes, they were getting some open shots where it's like they were double teaming Jokic, so KCP was getting a lot of those. And to me, I was like they were saying it during the game, but I think I was like, cool. Jokic is just going to have to get 50. If he gets 50, but Anthony Davis had another like 30-point game, LeBron had a 20-point game, and then some of the supporting cast but didn't really show up have a good game. Because to me, the Lakers really lost this with, like I said, the transitional buckets. I'm sort of all over the place. The open shots, they would get like Murray was hitting, like Murray hit like three that was just like, okay, he's not hitting them things again. Jokic with the half court shot, things like those kind of shots. That's not what you getting. And I was like, that's not what you're gonna expect that them hit. If you leave somebody open or whatever like that, then it's kind of is what it is. With Jeff Green, he was like open for a 3, he made it, but Chris Brown, missed it. So those things you're just gonna have to live with. The thing with the double team with the KCP, I'm like, cool, Anthony Davis. I was like, you're just gonna have to go 1-on-1. Because I'm like, cool, Jokic is going to get his points. He gonna get those rebounds. I can't let him have double-digit assists, because double-digit assists lets them get going. If they get going, we'll lose. Because I was like, you had like KCP with 21 points. That's not a KCP game. The whole Nuggets team had probably almost the highest ceiling of the game. The only thing that you probably could want more of is Porter Jr., and maybe a little bit more for Gordon or whatever. That's the only thing. Kind of like Bruce Brown had like 14 points in the first half, and if you think about it, they were down by 20. So if you don't have Bruce Brown going off, you don't get that amount of points. And really, be honest, all he's playing is with a lot of more hustle and energy. So therefore, you should negate some of that. So and then KCP with 20, which like I said, like the Nuggets you pretty much had a perfect game. Jokic had a monster game in every aspect of he put on his MVP showing. But Anthony Davis, and somebody I was talking to about where he said that he was like, Jokic is a huge mismatch. And it's like, no, he's not a huge mismatch. Because I'm like, Jokic got points, AD got the same points, around the same point. That washes out. Rebound. I was like, they're going to do a better job of making sure that he doesn't get the amount of rebound that they get, because that's how they get their second chance points. They got those transitional baskets, so you don't have to slow that down. But I was like, you can sort of play him with rebound. Now, of course, he's going to kill him on the assist, but the thing is that Jokic is the point guard really of the team. Jamal Murray doesn't get them into the offense. I was like, that's not what they do. It's really through Jokic. That's why when Jokic was on the bench, they was making that comeback. Because there was nobody, everybody else was just like, okay, we're really just going to try to see how, shoot, create my own shot. Somebody open, I'll throw it. And it's like, that's not what Jokic really does. But LeBron is their point guard. So if LeBron is over here having basically a triple-double as well, then I was like, cool. Then I was like, so to me, I'm like, that's why I'm like, those two can take Jokic to where it's like, okay, cool. And the thing is, your supporting players played Nuggets, Brown, KCP. I was like, Green came in and gave you some solid minutes or whatever. Gordon was pretty decent. And I was like, this round like Gordon is. I was like, that's the thing. But I was like, you ain't getting nothing for Walker. I was like, Vanderbilt didn't even. I was like, I know you're not gonna really get a point from him, but there wasn't even really defense from him. That's I was like. Rui did. I was like, Rui and Reeves showed up, but you ain't get nothing for Schroeder, and you didn't get nothing for Russell. And to me, I'm like, so I was like, that's at least 3.5 for Vanderbilt, because he's not gonna give you offense, but he's gonna give you defense, and he should be able to give you some more rebounds. So that's the 3.5 people that didn't show up. Where your collection did show up. Murray had a really great game. Jokic had a great, phenomenal game. I was like, Porter. That's sort of where he's been. He's he's sort of up and down. Like I was like, this sort of was like a pretty all right game from him. We know he can do better, but I was like, he's also played worse. So where I'm like, he's sort of like middling here. But also with that, the matchups too is that after a while, you started seeing in the game that the Nuggets kept on trying to play how they was playing. There really wasn't any adjustment. Now, of course, we'll see what they try to do for game two. But the Lakers, after a while, they were playing with stuff the whole night. Like, especially once you're down that many, it's just like, all right, cool, we got to get ourselves in the game. Let's just see what we can do. So they try to pick and roll with Anthony Davis. And that was able to work. Especially if Anthony Davis is going to be able to hit his mid-range shots, then there's really nothing that they're going to really be able to do because Jokic is not fast enough to keep up with Anthony Davis at that point. And I was like, it's different than like Embiid taking that jump shot with Anthony Davis as well too. So that also pulls him out, which I'm like, if you can pull Jokic out, who's not really a rim protector, but he's still a big body, and I'm like, then there's nobody stopping any of the going to the hole or nothing like that. That's also why too when they took Jokic out the game, they had Rui in there, and guess what? Now LeBron Rui is over here playing that 5 spot. There's nothing stopping any one of them because like they can both hit perimeter shots while also going straight to the basket, and that's why that created a problem. Which is another thing that they did where I'm like, I feel like I was like, I don't know if they're going to change the starting lineup, but in my head I'm like, cool. In other situations, I'm gonna have Vanderbilt just be a 5. I'm like, he's not gonna be able to shoot, but he could just be in the paint. He's long enough. I was like, when they don't have Jokic, of course, not with Jokic, but when they don't have Jokic or whatever, because I'm like, cool, he could be on Gordon, and you ain't really like, you're not scared of Gordon or whatever like that in that way. But then they tried to pick and roll where it was that, and it was Reeves, and that sort of created a mismatch because guess what? Murray's a liability, so they started going at Murray. I was like, to me, I thought they didn't do a good enough job of going at that early enough and Jokic early enough just to get them into foul trouble. Because the thing is, you're going to get Jokic in foul trouble. That is how I was like, just because he's not a defensive dude and he's not fast, he's going to end up in those situations. So I'm like, the faster you could get him sitting on the bench, the more you could take this whole game over, pretty much. Also, sometimes too, while I do get, I was like, you need LeBron. I was like, I ain't about to come out here something stupid. Like, you don't need LeBron. Sometimes I do wish that when their star player ain't there or something like that, where it's like, cool, you sitting LeBron on the bench or whatever, that they sort of that hand would sort of let the dudes play. Because sometimes I feel like because LeBron's not in the game, and it's sort of almost like with CP3, like they play more free. They play more. They're able to push the ball more. One, that's obvious. A whole bunch of younger dudes out on the court, but they also are able. They're also going in the paint, kick it out. Going in the paint, kick it out. I was like, they're better shooters than LeBron is at this point. That I think they move better, and I think it's more efficient for their offense at times. Now, of course, because like you need LeBron's like wisdom and stuff like that, and his aggressive to go to the paint because you can't stop that. That you're going to have him in. But I'm saying in those spurts where it's like, cool, you're basically playing second team for second team. I'm like, nah. I was like, Lakers could cook a lot better. I was like, and I was like, you sort of seen that too. Like LeBron was on the bench for about like 2-3 minutes, I believe, and it was either the second quarter or the third quarter, but I think it was the second quarter, and they were cutting that lead down a lot. Then they put LeBron back in, and the thing is that I feel like sometimes I feel like you got to match their speed with their speed. You just got to do it. You doing that slow methodical thing. I was like, I get it that can work. I was like, of course it could work, but I was like, it could work. But I was like, I think with a team like the Nuggets that not only shoot the ball but have so many chances to shoot the ball, that could create an issue in that situation in comparison. And I was like, granted, they played Golden State, so there's no better blueprint than Golden State. I mean, then Golden State helping with the Nuggets because it's just better, And I was like, pretty much it's almost as like sort of the Golden State teams from back in the day before KD type of thing. But the Nugget, I was like, I think, see, Porter plays defense when he plays defense. He had a couple of those like, oh, that was a nice block or whatever like that. But I was like, to me, that's like, that's showmanship defense where I'm like, okay, cool. That's your athleticism getting you back in there. But I'm like, you got beat. a lot of times in the first place for that even to happen. Murray is also not a defensive player as well. So I'm like, a lot of times you got three. I was like, Aaron Gordon is really the defensive player. KCP, I think he's good at defense. I was like, and until Bruce Brown get in, nobody else can really play defense. Um, so I was like, I think the Lakers have found a lot more, and I think Reeves needs to be more aggressive early on. Uh, I was like, and also I was like, to me, what I would do, I would have Russell, and I would have Russell, Anthony Davis is who I'm trying to get going early. LeBron is, I was like, since he's a powerhouse, he can always get himself going. And Reed seemed like he had no problem finding his shot. Lonnie gonna find a spot in certain situations, but once he gets hot, he gets hot. And if he's not, they figure that out. Rui, I feel like it's the same way, but I feel like I said in the last video, Rui was going to have. I thought they were going to be the matchup of Rui because I was like, a lot of their dudes are after Jokic, all their dudes are like the same height. He could really take advantage of that. I thought they had more guards to throw, but that only works if Russell and Dennis. Dennis gives you defense, so I can't even I can't even say that a lot. But he's going to have to put the pressure on them as well, and he wasn't doing that tonight. Russell just wasn't in his groove, and that's always another thing. But I still think you have to be more optimistic on the Lakers side, just because I was like, Dave was bad so much at the beginning of the game to end up there, where it's like the Nuggets were playing nearly top tier of their power. And I mean, other than like Jokic getting like 50, but the thing is, if Jokic gets 50, then all the other dudes don't get their baskets as well either. So I think that's the other thing that's going to change. And in saying that, I was like, I was like, oh, what I'll say before I go is, what I did not like was LeBron and his 3-point shot that he took when they was down 3. To me, there was still like 2 minutes left. I know it was probably a little less than that, but to me, I was like, it's still enough time to go ahead and do some plays and get close. Because if you got down to 1, guess what? That puts more fear in Denver that they have to make a shot, and that puts them on the edge where you miss that 3. Now they're up 3, and it's like, cool, we just got to make a basket and we're good, or we're going to get fouled and we're good. Where it's like, you would have got that 2 and it would have been 1. It's like, oh, so now we got to make a basket. We got to make a basket. What do we do? I was like, we're going to do this. Oh, dang it. Now all of a sudden, they got the momentum, and I was like, it was a bad shot. It was a bad shot. Because it wasn't like he was like wide open. It was a bad shot, I feel like, with the time and stuff like that. And this is saying this for LeBron, but also I think it was a bad shot too, because you could tell with that shot there was nothing underneath that shot. It was a line drive, and to me that's like one of those like shots, like you're tired shots. And I'm like, he already hasn't been shooting great anyway. So therefore, I feel like that compounded the issue, where they could have really took this game, and that's one of those like, I was like, that was a hero shot. I felt at not such a time. I felt like if it would have been like, say it was 1, maybe that's a hero shot, because guess what? A shot on the other end really doesn't kill you. Whereas like you miss that with down 3, you're pretty much dead in the water. And I was like, and also too, coming out of a timeout too. Also too, that whole thing coming out the timeout, I also felt like I would have rather. I was like, Reeves, I felt like should have just went to the basket. It's Jokic. Like, I know, I was like, that wasn't a clean pass to LeBron, but my thing is that I'm like, you would have went up towards Jokic, you probably would have got the foul call. And also, if you didn't and you put up a decent shot, that's also LeBron there to I would like to battle Jokic for the rebound. And Anthony Davis is somewhere on the perimeter, so you got the big man out, you got your big man out on the advantage as well. To me, that makes a big difference. And I felt like they had another chance after that, and they fumbled the ball on that one, or the bag, whatever you want to say, in that situation. But good game nonetheless, because I surely thought I was about to wrap this thing up by the end of the third quarter and be like, click, click. Let's see what other things are going on. But anyway, if you like any of my analysis or this recap or game planning or scheming, I was like, I appreciate it. Thank you. If not, hey, maybe next time. But till then, peace. I'm out.